Hell of a boss. More like hell of a mixed bag. Eh? Helluva Boss is a spin-off series to Hazbin Hotel, both projects created and led by Vivian Madrano, aka Vivzy Bob. They both take place in the same universe, but Helluva focuses on this assassin business in the Prime Ring of Hell, the one where sinners go after death, ran by a trio of imps called Imp, where they specialize in murdering targets in the mortal realm. That's where we live. Said imps being Blitzo, the guy in charge, Moxie, the resident butt monkey, and Millie, who exists. There's also Blitzo's secretary hellhound daughter named Luna. She's great.
Wow, I feel so loved here.
Not a bad idea for a cartoon and could lead to some fun antics, right? So what the fuck happened? This show turned into a mess faster than the jockstrap incident. It constantly dips and rises in quality like there's 10 different directors working on the same season. Why is this the case? Well, I can't provide any answers, but I can provide my opinions. I'm only going to talk about Season 1 today because Season 2 isn't finished yet, and it's an entirely different beast on its own. So, let's get to talking about them episodes. Helluva Boss actually starts off pretty decent. In the first 3 episodes, the imps nuke family, go to Disneyland, California as bodyguards for Prince Stolas and his daughter, and in the best episode, they go to a spring break concert where they slaughter horny college kids like they're slasher villains to show up a horny alcoholic. That's the basic gist of the first 3 episodes, and I pretty much have no complaints with them. They've got flaws, but they're minor. Even Millie getting knocked down in 5 seconds because, at least the other 2 get captured as well. But yeah, I actually quite like the first 3 episodes. Are they the best thing ever? No, but they're not bad by any means. At least in my opinion. With such a decent start, you'd think the rest of the season would be smooth sailing with only a few hiccups, right? Surely, it couldn't dip in quality so quickly. Episode 4 is the worst part of this entire season. It's aggressively unfunny, it drags on, and it genuinely feels like it was a family-friendly script that Vivzy wrote at some point but transformed it into something for Helluva. At least, I'm assuming Vivzy wrote this one because Brandon Rogers is a co-writer for the series. You probably know him from these videos and the fact he also voices Blitz.
Oh, try me, bitch.
But the thing is, Brandon is a pretty good writer. His videos are hilarious, albeit crude and offensive at times, but I think his content is crudeness done right. I could do without the toilet humor, but thankfully it's not very common. He even has some miniseries under his belt. I've only watched one of them, but it was pretty good from what I remember. I'll get back to the writing thing later, I have to explain why this episode is so bad. So, the imps are hired by this mad scientist who just died. I think his name was Loopy? To kill his mad scientist partner, Lyle. They are both elderly because of an aging machine they made and tested on themselves instead of using the Keith Johnson method of testing on the homeless, like they usually do. And the experiment killed Loopy as a result. So of course, they go to kill Lyle, but the cherubs from the episode's title beat them to the punch, and they're trying to convince Lyle to not want to die? I'm going to jump the gun, but he was going to end up in hell after death anyway. The show already established this in episode 1, where the client laments the fact she was a good person all her life, only to end up in hell because she killed her cheating husband before killing herself in an act of emotional distress. Libby said before that they usually experimented on the homeless. So they should have been brought up way before the very end of the episode. Did the cherubs just not know what Lyle's done in his life? Is there a scene missing? Because nothing about this episode makes any sense once you hold it up to a rule that was established in the very first episode. You do something bad, you go to hell no matter what. There might be some nuance to it, like maybe you can redeem yourself. It's the whole point of Hazbin Hotel after all. But it certainly wasn't what the cherubs were trying to help Lyle with. They just tried to make him see the good in life. Nothing is said about redemption at all. It honestly would have been infinitely more hilarious if Blitz just shot Lyle in there early in the episode. You could have focused on the rivalry between the businesses instead of this confusing mess of an episode that makes everyone look like idiots. Is making a future episode worse? And waste the talent of a whole animation team with a gag montage that wouldn't be out of place in a Johnny Test episode. Also, no one in this theater reacts to the imps. Remember that. The imp gang head for the Wrath Ring to bodyguard Stolas again while he attends the Harvest Moon Festival, and they stay at a farm that belongs to Millie's family. Her parents dislike Moxie because, of course, they do. We also get to meet this new imp named Striker, who has a bitchin' horse, not gonna lie. After being publicly humiliated by him when partaking in the festival, Moxie finds out that Striker was hired to kill Stolas, with a weapon that can actually kill demonic royalty. He's almost killed by Striker, but Millie comes in to help, only to be quickly knocked out just like in episode 1. It's so weird how this episode with Millie's family is about Moxie instead. Get used to the Moxie bias, and enjoy Striker being a cool villain while it lasts. To jump the gun a bit, again, Moxie gets his own sort of family episode later on, and considering some of his dialogue in episode 1 of this season, this was already planned. So why not let Millie get some focus here? From what I remember, Millie and Luna were pretty late additions to the show, but please correct me if I'm wrong. It's very weird if that's the case, because Luna gets more development in this season than M and M do in the entire show so far. And Luna actually has a reason to not do anything in most episodes. She's a secretary. I wouldn't expect someone in her position to, get in the action a lot. Besides that, Harvest Moon is fine. Definitely better than the Cherubs episode, at least. Unfortunately, the next episode doesn't get much better. We get some new villains in the form of these secret agents that belong to an organization named Dogs, who are trying to prove to the world that demons are real after catching footage of the imps doing their thing. They managed to capture Moxie and Blitz, so Millie and Luna have to go rescue them. Well, sweet. What kind of interactions do we get between them? It's mostly focused on Blitz and Moxie. The only interactions we see between Millie and Luna don't involve any dialogue outside of this Tier 2 reference. I guess now is a good enough time for me to bring up the songs. They're in every episode, and I don't like most of them. Some of them are fun, but I felt that most of them were just unnecessary. Like, I know Vivian loves musicals, but I thought Hasbin was the one that was going to be a musical while Helluva wasn't. Not every episode needs a musical segment, goddammit. Back to the episode. The boys are rescued and they fight the Dork agents, but they're trapped and Stolas pops in to help them get back to hell, like the boyfriend ex-machina that he is. Now, besides the musical segment, this ending is where my biggest issues with the episode pop up. These agents are portrayed as a joke for most of the episode, but then this ending, where Stolas flat out says no one will believe them about demons, has them immediately be like, hell yeah, we got proof, everyone's gonna believe us, as soon as the others leave. But why would them having proof even be a big deal? The imps have already been publicly spotted, undisguised mind you, twice in the season alone. But they were either mistaken for possums or no one reacted to seeing a trio of imps right in front of them. So does humanity actually care if there are demons running around or not? And are we actually supposed to take the agents seriously? Make up your mind! This episode is where the problem with the writers not knowing if their villains should be jokes or an actual threat started. Yeah, I said started. This issue is still in Season 2 and they somehow made it worse. I genuinely have nothing to say about episode 7. It's okay, I just don't care for it. I'll always love Stolas though. Well, I gotta end this on a better note than that, so episode 8. I actually like this one as much as the first 3, and it's another one where Luna plays a big part. Nice. Well, really, she's the focus this time, but whatever. It happens directly after episode 7, and Best Girl here is attending a ham party that Vortex, this guy from Spring Broken, invited her to, though she struggles a bit due to her social anxiety. Honestly, if I were her, I would have just stayed home and watched some Kombi Johnny videos all night. This episode wasn't actually released after episode 7. It took a while to come out due to legal shenanigans behind the scenes that, in hindsight, were very clearly a result of the musician Kesha being involved. Yeah, that Kesha. She voices the demon lord of gluttony Beelzebub, who Twitter had a weird reaction to because of the fact she was a Beehound hybrid instead of, like... I actually don't know what Beelzebub looks like, so here's a screenshot from Helltaker. Don't get your hopes up, purists. She turns into a waifu, as it should be. People complaining about her design not being accurate to the real Beelzebub from the Bible probably don't understand how adaptations work, but seeing other people's own interpretations for a while was fun. Not every redesign is bad, and I think Beez is fine. It fits with the kind of gluttony they're going for here. Also, have you seen the other demon lords in this show? I doubt Satan looks like a topless sexy man in the Bible. Anyway, yeah, this is another good one. So that makes half the season good, while the rest of it is bad or meh. Which isn't good, but it's a first season, so I guess it's more excusable. Doesn't excuse season 2, though. At the risk of sounding like a jerk, I think Vipsy Pop is a great artist and animator. But if this and her zoophobia show are anything to go by, she is not a very good writer. At least, I don't think so. The quality of Helluva Boss's writing is very inconsistent. In one episode, it'd be okay, but then in the next, it has massive flaws that are easy to spot. Season 2 alone has 3 duds in a row. How is this possible? Does no one speak up to Vivian about the writing quality? Especially the tonal dissonance that plagues the show right now? I also noticed Millie's skull changes shape in between shots here. That gives me Steven Universe flashbacks. Like, this isn't a squash and stretch thing, her head changes shape. And I think Luna looks different in episode 8, but those are the only things I can notice that are like that. Though maybe my eyes are messing with me on the Luna thing. Overall, season 1 is a pretty rocky start. I don't want this series to fail, and it most likely won't fail commercially at least, but it's in a weird position where some of it is good while a big chunk of it is either fine or bad. I guess it's all just my opinion in the end, but I hope that even fans of the series can see where I'm coming from here. If you're interested in checking the show out, if you haven't already, I'd recommend skipping episodes 4 and 6. Maybe just 4. I'll do what you want, I'm not your dad. I hope that Vizzy hires more writers and steps into more of a director role instead, so she at least still has the final say, and maybe leave Fran as the lead writer or something. But I doubt that'll happen. Perhaps all I can say is that Luna is best girl, and if you disagree with me, you can suck my dick.